Chapter 23. The Lord God commanded Moses to give the Israelites the following laws regarding the most important religious festivals. When the people gather to worship the Lord, you have 6 days to work, but the 7th day is the holy day of rest. When everyone must gather to worship God, do not do any work on this day. In every place where the Israelites live, the Sabbath is a day dedicated to God, the Lord. These are the religious festivals when the people must gather to worship God, the Lord. Each of these festivals will be held on the appointed date. The Passover festival, celebrated in honor of God, the Lord, begins at sunset on the 14th day of the first month. On the 15th day of this month begins the festival of unleavened bread, in honor of God, the Lord. During the 7 days of this festival, the bread you eat must be made without yeast. On the first day of this festival, no one will work, and everyone must gather to worship God. During these 7 days, present food offerings to the Lord, and on the 7th day gather to worship God. On this day, no one shall work. The Lord God commanded Moses to say to the people of Israel the following: When you enter the land that I am giving you, and you make your first harvest of wheat, bring to the priest a bundle of what you have harvested. On the day after the Sabbath, the priest will present this bundle of wheat to God, the Lord, so that he may accept you. On this same day, present to the Lord a 1-year-old lamb without defect, as a burnt offering. And present as a grain offering 2 kilograms of flour mixed with oil. The smell of this offering is pleasing to the Lord. Also present a drink offering of 1 liter of wine. Do not eat green wheat heads or roasted heads or bread until the day you present the offering to God. In every place where you live, you and your descendants must obey this law forever. Count 7 weeks from the day you offer God the first bundle of harvested wheat. On the next day, that is, 50 days after you offered that bundle, present to God, the Lord, another offering from the grain harvest. Each family must present 2 loaves made with the finest flour and with yeast. Each loaf must weigh 2 kilograms. These loaves are an offering to God, the Lord, taken from the best part of the wheat harvest. Along with the loaves, offer 7 1-year-old lambs without defect, 1 young bull, and 2 rams. These animals must be presented to the Lord as a burnt offering, along with the grain and wine offerings. The smell of this food offering is pleasing to the Lord. Also offer a goat for the forgiveness of sins, and 2 1-year-old lambs as a peace offering. The priest will present to the Lord the 2 lambs, along with the loaves, as a special offering. This is a sacred offering that belongs to the priests. On this day, no one shall work, and everyone must gather to worship God. In every place where you live, you and your descendants must obey this law forever. When you harvest the wheat, do not pick the ears of grain from the edge of the field, nor go back to pick the ears that were not collected. Leave these ears for the poor and for the foreigners. I am the Lord your God. The Lord God commanded Moses to say to the people of Israel the following: The first day of the 7th month is a holy day of rest, celebrated with trumpet blasts, and everyone must gather to worship God. Do not work on this day and present food offerings to God, the Lord. The Lord God said to Moses, The 10th day of the 7th month is the day when the sins of the people are forgiven. On that day no one shall eat anything, and all must present food offerings to God the Lord. No one shall work on this day, for it is the day when the sacrifice is presented to the Lord your God to obtain forgiveness for the sins of the people. Anyone who eats anything on the Day of Atonement will be cut off from among the people. And if anyone works on that day, I myself will destroy that person. And do not do any work on that day. In every place where you live, you and your descendants must obey this law forever, from sunset on the 9th day until sunset on the 10th. This will be considered a holy day of rest, and no one shall eat anything. The Lord God gave Moses the following laws for the people of Israel. The 15th day of the 7th month is the day when the Festival of Shelters begins. This festival in honor of God, the Lord, will last 7 days. On the first day, there will be a sacred gathering, and no one shall work. On each of the 7 days of the festival, present food offerings to God, the Lord. On the 8th day, everyone will gather to worship God and to present food offerings to him. It is a day of sacred gathering, and no one shall work. These are the religious festivals when the people will gather to worship God, the Lord. On these festivals, food offerings, burnt offerings, grain offerings, sacrifices, and drink offerings will be presented to the Lord. Each festival will be held on the appointed date. In addition to the Sabbaths that are kept in honor of God, the Lord also holds these festivals and present these offerings besides the usual offerings. Offerings to fulfill vows, and offerings freely given to the Lord. After the harvest is finished, there will be a festival in honor of God, the Lord. This festival will begin on the 15th day of the 7th month and go until the 22nd. On the first day and on the 8th, no one shall work. On the first day, the people will gather fruits from the best trees, cut palm branches and branches from various leafy trees. And for 7 days, everyone will celebrate a festival in honor of the Lord, your God, and forever. In the 7th month of each year, the people will hold this 7-day festival. During these 7 days, all the Israelites will live in shelters made from tree branches, so that they and their descendants will always remember that God made the people live in shelters when he brought them out of Egypt. He is the Lord, your God. This is how Moses gave the people of Israel the laws regarding the festivals they should observe in honor of God, the Lord. Chapter 24. The Lord God said to Moses the following: Tell the Israelites to bring you the best olive oil to keep the lampstand in the sacred tent always burning. Every evening Aaron will light the lampstand and keep it burning all night long, or in the presence of the Lord God, outside the curtain that is in front of the Ark of the Covenant. This law must be obeyed by you and your descendants forever. Aaron will take care of the wicks of the lamps on the pure gold lampstand, so that they remain always lit in the presence of the Lord. 12 loaves, each weighing 2 kilograms, must be made from the best flour and placed on the table of pure gold that stands in the presence of the Lord God. The loaves must be arranged in 2 stacks, 6 loaves in each stack. On top of the 2 stacks, pure incense will be placed to be a reminder that all the loaves are offered to the Lord as a food offering. Every Sabbath, forever, the high priest will place the loaves in order on the table in the presence of the Lord God. These loaves represent the eternal covenant of the Israelites with the Lord, and will belong forever to the priests who are descendants of Aaron. The loaves are very holy, for they are a food offering given to the Lord. Therefore the priests will eat them in a holy place. There was among the Israelites a man who was the son of an Egyptian and an Israelite woman. Her name was Shelemith, daughter of Dibri, from the tribe of Dan. One day, in the camp, during a fight with an Israelite, this man blasphemed against the name of the Lord God and cursed him. Moses put him in custody until the Lord said what should be done. The Lord God said to Moses, "Take this man outside the camp. The people who heard him blaspheme against me will lay their hands on his head, and then all the people will kill him by stoning. And say to the people, anyone who curses the Lord God will pay for this sin and must be put to death by stoning by all the people. It does not matter whether it is an Israelite or a foreigner living among you. Anyone who blasphemes against the name of the Lord God will be put to death. Whoever kills a person must be put to death. Whoever kills someone else's domestic animal must give the owner another animal of equal value, an animal. If anyone injures another person, the same will be done to him that he did fracture for fracture, eye for eye, tooth for tooth. He will be injured in the same way that he injured the other. Whoever kills someone else's animal must give another animal to the owner. Whoever kills a person will be put to death. The law is the same for foreigners living among you and for the Israelites. I am the Lord your God." Then Moses told all this to the Israelites. Then they took the man who had cursed the name of God and brought him outside the camp. So they did what the Lord had commanded Moses. Chapter 25. The Lord God spoke to Moses on Mount Sinai and commanded him to give the people of Israel the following laws when you enter the land that the Lord God will give you. Let the land rest every 7th year in honor of the Lord. For 6 years you may sow your fields, prune your vineyards, and gather the grapes. But the 7th year will be a sacred year of rest for the land, a rest dedicated to God, the Lord. In that year no one is to sow their field, prune their vineyards, harvest the grain that grows by itself, or gather the grapes from unpruned vines. It will be a complete year of rest for the land. The fields will not be sown, yet they will still produce enough to feed all the Israelites, their male and female slaves, their hired workers. The foreigners who live among the people and also the domestic and wild animals. Everything that the land produces will serve as food. Count 7 weeks of years, that is, 7 years times 7, which gives a total of 49 years. Then, on the 10th day of the 7th month, which is the Day of Atonement, have a trumpet sounded throughout the country. This year, which comes after every 49 years, is the sacred year of freedom, in which you will proclaim liberty to all the inhabitants of the land. In this year, all who have been sold as slaves will return free to their families, and all the fields that have been sold will return to their original owners. In this year, no one is to sow their fields, harvest the grain that grows by itself, prune the vineyards, or gather the grapes, for the year of freedom is holy to the people, and in it everyone will eat only what the land produces by itself. In the year of freedom, all lands that have been sold will return to their original owners. In the sale or purchase of lands, do not exploit others. The price will be calculated based on the year of freedom, for what is sold is not the land itself, but the harvests it produces. Therefore, the buyer will reduce the price based on the number of harvests since the last year of freedom, and the seller will calculate the price based on the harvest years that remain until the next year of freedom. If there are still many years, the price will increase. If there are few years, the price will decrease. And no one should exploit others. Let everyone fear God, for He is the Lord our God. Obey all the laws and commandments of God, so that you may live securely in the land that will be yours. It will yield its harvests. There will be enough food for everyone, and all will live in safety. But someone might ask how there will be food during the 7th year, when no one will sow or harvest. The answer is that God will bless the land, and in the 6th year it will produce enough harvest for 3 years. When you sow your fields in the 8th year, you will still be eating from the 6th year's harvest, and there will be enough until the harvest of the 9th year. The land belongs to God, therefore it will not belong permanently to whoever buys it. God is its owner, and to Him we are foreigners who dwell for a little while on His land. Thus, when a piece of land is sold, the original owner will be the first to have the right to buy it back. If an Israelite becomes poor and needs to sell part of his land, his nearest relative must buy back what he sold. But if he has no relative to buy the land, it is possible that later he himself becomes rich again, and so can buy back the land he sold. He will subtract the value of the harvests that the land produced since the last year of freedom, and calculate the price to pay based on the remaining harvest years until the next year of freedom. And so he will once again be the owner of the land. But if he does not have enough to buy back the land, then it will belong to the buyer until the next year of freedom. In that year, the land will return to the original owner. If a man sells a house that is in a walled city, he has the right to buy it back until 1 year after the sale. But if within 1 year he does not buy it back, then it will belong to the buyer and his descendants forever. Not even in the year of freedom will the house return to the original owner. But the houses that are in towns without walls are like lands. The original owner has the right to buy back the house, and in the year of freedom, it returns to him. The Levites always have the right to buy back their houses that are in the cities where they live. But if a Levite sells his house in one of these cities and does not buy it back, then in the year of freedom, the house will return to him. The houses in the cities where the Levites live will be their permanent possession among the people of Israel. But the fields around the cities where the Levites live must not be sold. They belong to the Levites forever. If an Israelite who lives near you becomes poor and cannot support himself, then you have the duty to take care of him. Help him as if he were a foreigner who lives among the people, so that he can continue living near you. Do not charge interest on the money you lend him. Obey the command of God so that this man may continue to live near you. Do not charge interest on what you lend him, nor make a profit on the food you sell him. This is what the Lord our God commands us. He is the one who brought us out of Egypt to give us the land of Canaan and to be our God. If an Israelite who lives near you becomes so poor that he sells himself to you as a slave, do not make him work as a slave. Treat him as if he were a hired worker or a foreigner who lives with you. He will work for you until the year of freedom, and in that year he and his children will go free and return to their family and to the land of their ancestors. The Israelites are servants of the Lord God who brought them out of Egypt. They must not be sold as slaves. Therefore, do not treat them with cruelty, but respect the command of God. If you need slaves, you may buy them from the neighboring peoples of your country. You may also buy the children of foreigners who live among you. These children born in the land of Israel may be bought as slaves. Their owners may leave them as an inheritance to their children, to whom these slaves must serve for life. But an Israelite may not have another Israelite as a slave, nor treat him with cruelty. It may happen that a foreigner living among the people becomes rich, and an Israelite neighbor becomes poor and sells himself as a slave to that foreigner, or to someone in his family. In this case, after being sold, the Israelite has the right to be bought back. A brother, an uncle, a cousin, or another close relative may buy him back. Or, if he earns enough money, he himself may buy back his freedom. He and the man who bought him will agree on the price to be paid based on the number of years from the year he sold himself until the next year of freedom. The calculation will be made based on the wages a hired worker receives. If many years remain until the year of freedom, he will pay a larger portion of the money he received when he sold himself. But if there are only a few years left, the portion will be smaller. The owner will treat him as if he were a hired worker contracted for a number of years. Do not let the owner treat him with cruelty. If the man is not bought back by any of these means, then in the next year of freedom he and his children will go free. For the Israelites are servants of God, who brought them out of Egypt. He is the Lord their God.